Okay, that was Something by the Beatles, written by George Harrison. And what we're going to do today is we're going to focus on the guitar solo for Something. It was originally played on electric guitar with a couple of different effects on it. But what I did is I played it on my acoustic electric guitar. Or if you've seen some of my other shows, I also did it on a acoustic guitar. Now, when you transcribe that solo for an acoustic guitar, of course, there's a lot of things that you're not going to be able to do that you can do on the electric guitar. A lot of the bends that he uses in that solo, and he uses a real lot of them, you're not going to be able to do on most acoustic guitars unless you put light gauge strings on the guitar. And if you put light gauge strings on acoustic guitar, you lose a lot of the rich tone of acoustic guitar. So I played it on my acoustic with medium gauge strings on it. And what we have to do is we have to find different ways of imitating his electric guitar. Now, doing something like that, just imitating another instrument or another guitar differently, is a great learning experience. My students play this song all the time. They play the solo, and they've always said, well, why don't you film it playing it on the acoustic guitar, because it's a nice version of it. And that's what we did. So what we're going to do is go through each phrase one at a time, and it'll be a total of, I believe, 6 different phrases for this solo. Okay, so we're going to start with phrase number 1. Okay, phrase number 1 is the opening statement that he makes when he starts his solo, which is... All right, now how that works is that's going to be on the 7th fret on the 3rd string, and you're going to play to the 7th to the 9th fret on the 3rd string with a hammer on. And then go to the 2nd finger on that 8th fret on the 2nd string. And then right back to your 3rd finger on the 3rd string. So it'll look like this. That's his opening statement, once again. So right away we have a hammer on, and then right back to that 3rd finger. Okay, now the second part of phrase number 1, he starts the same way. Now when he gets to that 2nd finger on the 2nd string, what he does is he does a quick slide up to the 10th fret, up to that 10th fret, and then right back down to that 8th fret. Now on electric guitar, when you do that, it's a bend. So he's bending from the 8th fret, that 8th fret note, to sound on the 10th fret. We're not going to do that though. Okay, we're just going to slide and then slide back to imitate that bend. So once again, right away, we're starting to change things a little bit to adapt it to the acoustic guitar. So once again, phrase number 1. Second half of phrase number 1 starts the same way. Now that quick slide with that 2nd finger, and then back. All right, now we're going to take note with this. Sliding up, you're going to have to slide it quick and release the note. As soon as you get up to that 10th fret, you release that note, because he kind of cuts that note a little short. Okay. Now coming back down, you're going to kind of drag your hand, and it's a slower slide coming back. So when he bends the note, he bends it up quick, then bends it slower coming back down. Now these little nuances on the solo are very important. Anybody can play the solo. It's not that hard of a solo to play, but it's a hard solo to play to make it sound good and to sound like George Harrison. And these little things that I'm going to point out to you as we go along are the things that really make it sound great compared to just mediocre. Okay, so these are the things you really want to focus on. A lot of people call them the finishing touches, but musical term for this is the articulation, how short a note is being held or how long it's being held. That's all under the category of articulation. Okay, so once again we have a fast slide and cutting the note short when he gets up to it, and then hit that note again on the 10th fret in a slow slide, slightly slower coming back down. Okay, now I'll play that whole first phrase. Hammer on, then the slide. See how much slower I slid coming back down? Once again. I'm exaggerating it a little bit, but see how nice that sounds? All right, those are the things you really want to work on, that quickness of the slide. And when you practice it with the solo, really try to key in on that. Really listen very carefully to those little things of how fast he's sliding, or if he's letting a note go quicker, shortening up the note a little bit. Those are very important. Once again, phrase number 1. You notice I'm putting a little bit of a tremolo on the note. It's hard to do on acoustic guitar, but you can hear it. And he does that a lot on the solo. So if you can do that on the acoustic guitar, put that tremolo on there, it'll sound even better. Okay. Second phrase starts off just like phrase number 1. Okay. That's phrase number 2. Starts just like phrase number 1. You hammer on. Now when you go to that second finger on the second string, what we're going to do is we're going to change the finger, and I'm going to go to my first finger there. Okay, so it's going to be hammer on. Now another hammer on with my first finger, which is now on the second string on the 8th fret. I'm going to hammer on to the 10th fret. So we got 2 hammer-ons. And then I pick that note, the last note I played on the 8th fret. I picked that one separately. So it's 2 hammer-ons. And then I pick that last note. So watch it real slow. Hammer on. Go to my first finger. Hammer on. Then pick that note. Okay. All right, now after that first finger note there is going to be another one of those quick slides. I'm going to slide up to the 11th fret. Now I'm going to slide with my second finger because the slide is kind of from this 9th fret up. And I'm going to cut it short. Like that. So once again, it'll sound like this. Okay. I used to slide from here, from the 10th to the 11th fret, but I found that it's more of a slide than that. It starts a little bit lower, the sound. So from the 9th fret to the 11th sounds more like the solo. Now you can experiment with that. You can try it different ways. You can try sliding from the 10th to the 11th fret, or you can try sliding from the 9th to the 11th and see which one sounds better. I tend to feel that the 9th to the 11th sounds better. Okay, gives me more of a slide. So once again, phrase number 2, the first half of phrase number 2. Okay, the second half of phrase number 2, you're going to do slide up, then go to the first string on that 8th fret and play that note twice.